Good evening and welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Music and Mixing Show. I'm your host, DJ Michael Joseph, and if this is your first time here, welcome. We always take a couple minutes at the top of the hour to welcome some people in, see who's in the chat tonight. I'm having a little trouble seeing a few things, so I don't know who's where. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat. So if you are out there, shout out, tell me where you're hanging out at, where you're tuning in from, all that kind of stuff. We got a lot of stuff cool tonight to talk about. I want to see who's all out there. I meant to check to see if it was on. If it's hitting everywhere. I hope it is. We're covering a lot of cool stuff on Virtual DJ tonight. Some new stuff that has come on over the past couple of months. Different things like that. I am taking your questions. We are not on everything, so we're missing several different places that we're not on yet. So that's okay. So definitely, like I said, holler out in the chat where you're from, all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to keep an eye on everything tonight. All that kind of fun stuff. I'm going over to the page now to see if there's anything going on over there. 2 watching, 3 watching, and that includes me. And I am live. There, everything's starting to populate now. There we go. So hello to Joe and DJ Sports Girl tuning in again. How are you? Hope you guys are doing well tonight. I can't see much of the chat because the way they did the chat now, it's all kind of crunched under and I can't really see it. So it's going to be kind of tough keeping an eye on that tonight. But like I said, we got some good stuff. We're going to have about some virtual DJ stuff tonight. That's about it. I mean, it's a night of virtual DJ, and there's been a few little changes. As you know, that I keep try to pay attention to that as much as I can, and it's neat how they do things. Is they just put out little things here or there. It kind of goes under the radar even. I want to hold this. And Juan Ortega, what's going on? How are you? Hope you are doing well. We're not feeding everywhere tonight for some reason. We're missing some destinations on Facebook. It's just not connecting. It's not connecting a lot of Facebook places. It's not going to my page. It's not going to a lot of pages. It's going to both YouTube pages. I don't think it's going on Twitch tonight. Yes, we're on Twitch also. So we're on a few places here or there. I want to try to keep a hold of everybody here before it gets too crazy and out of whack. I'm reading the chat here on 2 little things as it's flowing on both sides. See who's here. Thank you, Juan Ortega. Appreciate that. Oh, very cool. Yeah, it's kind of winding down the season. I have a friend of mine who is a referee for the local high school teams and stuff. And as he's looking at the season, he just came out of several seasons of being a referee to where a lot of games were canceled and all that stuff, and he's telling me how they're starting to get regular now. I mean, they had been regular the past couple of months and all this stuff. It's kind of neat. Yeah, good. DJ Eric, what's going on? Nuremberg, I hope I said that right. Tom from California, what is going on? DJ Reflex, I got that. How many people don't get that right? Good, you love virtual DJ. Awesome. Hold on here. Someone from our insider chat just sent me a message, and it looks important. Oh, he's just telling me he's running late. He's one of our insider people that helps with the chat and stuff like that. Again, a lot of people watch this on demand. Thank you for tuning in on demand and watching this. We cover a lot of stuff. We answer questions live, but also you can go back and do it. I'm still trying to figure out how to really kind of manipulate this show a little bit to make it more relevant. I've been watching other YouTube presenters on just all kinds of different topics, and they do a lot of different types of shows. One guy does like 5 questions where people send in 5 questions and he answers those 5 questions live, and it's all edited down real tight. Maybe that's something I might do because I'm only doing this about once a month, but I think that the virtual DJ is a very big topic that a lot of people want to know, because I don't think a lot of people are really, that I know of out there are handling virtual DJ questions live on that. They'll answer things or they'll put up videos like I do, but there's not a lot of people who's just, there being kind of like a answer man, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right word. So what's going on? Reflex is from California. Hope you're doing well out there. Always doing shout-outs in the chat, so if you're around, say hey. So we're going to get started tonight. So if you're watching us on demand, you've tuned in at the right spot right now. So I appreciate that. We will take some questions later for sure. But I want to talk a little bit about some of the updates. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. Today when I posted that I was going to be doing this show, somebody came right back and said, new for Virtual DJ, they haven't updated in forever. And I said, they update all the time. I said, because I went back and looked, and there's two different ways to check, updates and what they've done. One is a standard log update, and one is an early access. And the early access is kind of like a beta sort of thing. And I said the beta alone has done 7 updates since the beginning of this year. The standard's done 2. So if you say they haven't done anything new, there's always new stuff coming out, updates, different equipment that it didn't work for before that it works for now, and we're going to cover that tonight. And that's, I think, one of the first things that I want to cover. Hello, Terry. What's going on from Canada? Hope you're doing well. We're going to cover some of the new things that Virtual is, machines that Virtual is working with now. So I'm going to rattle down a list here. I just took some notes, and this is not a fully encompassing list of controllers that it's now working with. It's should I say new controllers that it's now working with. It's just ones that I thought kind of jumped out and I thought were kind of important. The Pioneer XDJ RX3 now works with Virtual DJ. Tractor Control S8 now works with Virtual DJ. Hercules DJ Control Mix. Pioneer let it do a link. They did a link fix that lets you do a combination of CDJ 3000s, DJM 900s, or CDJ 2000 Nexus 2s, and DJM V10s. So that's another update. They did that. The Pioneer DMJ S7 is now good for Virtual. Newmark Party Mix MK2 and Party Mix Live. Those of you who don't know, on the early access, Rev 7, the Pioneer brand new Rev 7 is all good to go on Virtual DJ. I have not seen a mapping for the Rev 1 yet, but I'm sure that's coming too. But there is, if you plan on getting a Rev 7 or you have ordered one, it works with Virtual DJ. Just letting you know that. Tractor Control D2, and that's about it. Some of the other updates I think that are pretty good, and we're gonna dive into the actual program and take a look at them a little closer. But I want to talk about cue points being transferred, because they're kind of doing. They're taking, from what, this is just my opinion, they're taking a page out of Rekordbox, the way they do cue points, because Rekordbox does cue points in 2 different ways, and I think it's smart to do the way they're going to now, because it holds the information with the song and not with your database. So it would be like if we both use Virtual DJ and I gave you one of my songs that I had put cue points on, you will have my cue points. And that's kind of what we're going to talk a little bit about there. The online streaming stuff from a couple of their services now add charts. We're going to talk about that. They have a better, they updated their database backup feature. And if you never used that, I'm going to show you how to use that tonight. And if you use BeatSource for streaming, they now have an explicit comment tagged into that. So we're going to take a look at that later too. Right now, I have to bounce back and forth between the chat and the other one. So, Mike, are you saying you're waiting on it to be mapped for the Rain 1, or you've ordered a Rain 1? Sporty Girl's been using Virtual DJ for several years. Awesome. I think I'm about 12 years or 13 years into me using it. I know on my DJ computer I have over 10 years, about 12 years of play history on that. But it, like I said, it's always worked for me. So first thing I want to do is I want to show you guys tonight the change log, so you know what it is, and you can go look at see what stuff is before it, how they have it listed, because they put out a list of all the changes all the time. Let me find a switch here. We're going to go to here, and we're going to move me here. All right, so actually let me undo that, and we'll get me out of the way, and we're going to do a left screen zoomed so you guys can read these a little bit. But if you go to Virtual DJ, or basically the way I always find it, because it's like the fastest way for me to find it. Can I put me on here? I think I can put me on here. Hi, there, we can see each other now. The fastest way for me to find this is is that I go to Google and just type in virtual DJ changelog. And then that's my easiest way of finding it, because it's like products / virtual DJ / changelog.html. It's kind of so Nico, you got the Rain 1 custom macked whiteout skin. I don't know if you guys saw the picture. I'll share a picture here in a bit, because I don't know where I shared it, because I shared so much prior to doing my custom that I don't remember what all I shared. Give me a second here. We're going to go back to here. Let me see if I can find that real quick, and I'll show you what I did. I don't think I've had it. Tonight I have another controller on the deck cam tonight under here that I'm going to be showing you guys and showing you why I picked this one here. So let me go here. It's going to take me a second to find this, because there's like a buttload of photos I've been doing lately. So if you follow me, I have a lot of different stuff going on. Oh, I can share that picture too. That'll help. We're going to go back further, and it should be a double here somewhere. Maybe not. I don't know if I have the double here. There it is. I thought I had it here. All right, so now we're going to share left screen. All right, so this is my new setup. So I could not decide if I wanted white plates with black logo or black plates with white logo, so I did both. So this is my Rain 1 now with the custom skin and the custom plates. The only thing I'm waiting on now is I asked him if he could send me white play buttons as opposed to the black ones. So that's the only thing I'm waiting for here. So this is my setup that I'm running right now live. My Rain 1 with a couple little custom things. I'm very partial to the white plates, and that's kind of what I've been running on a lot lately. The plates were done by Style Flip, and the skin was done by 12-inch Skins. I'm trying to get back to the chat, because I only get to see about the way the chat's set up tonight. I'm not really sure why, but I'm only getting to see about 3 things at a time on it. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm running now. And what was the other thing I wanted to show you guys? It was... What was it? Oh. Tonight, I am using, and we're going to get back to the changelog. I know I'm jumping around a lot, but this is something I picked up recently. It is the Newmark Mixtrack Pro FX. The names are getting longer and longer. And the reason that I picked this up is I wanted a backup, a light little backup I can carry with me, but this has the exact same layout as the Rain 1. And I have a picture. I'll show you guys that. Left screen, there we go. And I don't know if I could do the left screen zoomed. There, okay. Will take me out of the picture again. But again, if you look at the center section right here, where the paddles are and the effects are the same as the Rain 1, everything is in the same spot. And that was kind of one of the things that I wanted to, why I got it, is so that it matched. So I had my emergency backup where everything, pretty much everything, is in the exact same spot. So I don't get, you don't do that phantom reach for different things. And that's what I wanted to do with that. We're going to go back to here. So that's that. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat tonight. Yeah, I know the white buttons, white play buttons, he said, came with the all white. Yeah, mine didn't, and I asked him if he could send me them. He's like, yeah, give me some time. So I'm going to have that, because I just thought that white, extra little bit of white on there, help that out a little bit. If you ask a question and I miss it, let me know tonight, because like I said, I'm having trouble. I'm only getting to see like 3 or 4 sections of this chat. I don't know how I can flip it around here. Virtual DJ has not responded to me yet about sponsorship. Like I said, a couple weeks ago, I sent them out an email with a proposal. I showed them the numbers from the shows, both this one and the quick show, because the little short one, the VDJ How To, I mean, some of those have 50 to 100,000 views on them, so I have a lot of views. But I haven't heard anything yet. So, all right, so right now we're going to take a quick look at the Virtual DJ changelog. So if you go to the changelog, you have 2 different changelogs to look at here. You can take a look at the standard log, and this is kind of like the main thing once everything gets worked out. And the early access is like a beta sort of thing. It's a little bit past a beta, but it's got some good stuff. So if you look at the standard changelog in 2022, they did 2 updates, and some of them are just for support of different things here. This here is the CD export queue as memory points optional added, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. The charts, we're going to talk about this too. For Virtual DJ Pro and iDJ Pool now have charts that you can go and look at. And let's just start with those two. One of the things that they had talked about, and I kind of don't like, is that if you want to transfer your queue points with Virtual DJ to another computer, you have to transfer the database, because the database is where the queue points are held. So basically, it says queue point 1 is so many, like 58 seconds into the song, queue point 1, 58.21, and that's how they do it. But some of them now, like I said, Rekordbox has an option in doing them as what's called memory points, and the memory points are stored in the MP3 tag file. If it's not there specifically, there's a way they're doing it there. And I like the idea of that, so that, like I said, that they're developing it so that if in virtual I want to transfer stuff on a thumb drive to then put in a CDJ Nexus or put in a Denon Prime system, I can transfer my queue points via the memory points, as opposed to queue points, memory points, into that thumb drive and play that and have my queue points when I go play on a CDJ or play on a Denon system. And I think they should be done that way anyways, because, like I said, I want to maybe throw another song on a different computer, a backup. I also have to take the database over, and I have to make sure that the database is because Dan from Just Hockey News just bought a new computer, and he was talking about how to do the databases, and they have to be labeled the same. So my DJ computer has 2 internal hard drives, a C and a D. So that means everything is set for C and D. So if I took my information to another computer, I have to put the one database in the C drive, I have to put my music in the D drive, and the second Virtual DJ database in the D drive, so that it finds everything perfectly. But if it had the memory points in the tags, all I would have to do is transfer over the songs, and they would have the queue points. So that's what that's about, those queue points on there. And the other one is the playlist. And this is another thing that I think is kind of cool here. Where am I at here? I am here. Hey, we're going to do the zoom in again. All right, so let me move this over. So if you look here on the online stuff, and I do subscribe to the online stuff, and online music, and one of the things you're going to see is all these different ones here. I subscribe to the iDJ Pool, and one of the things that the iDJ Pool does now is that they have charts right in there. So if you want to look at the latest releases, it has them in there. If you want to look at the dance charts, they're in there. The hip-hop stuff, the Latin, the country, old school. These charts are continually updated all the time, and they're right there for you. They have holidays. The holidays aren't great, but they have some in there. So the 4th of July is coming up. A few other things in there, and other sets things like Christian music, gospel music, jazz. They actually have samples and scratches and beats and loops in there that you can grab and use, and some wedding, birthday, and anniversary, like true go-tos. And again, this is not a well-done list, in my opinion. There's not much there. So this is something they're doing now, because a song list like this, some people call them crates, playlists. These are becoming very, very popular with stuff. And with virtual, you are able to do that. Let me jump over to the virtual site here. And community. All right, so we're going to go over here. There we go. Oh, so I have a different... I think they titled me wrong here. Seeing some different titles in it. That's why that wasn't working out right. So if we look at the left screen here, in Virtual DJ, under Communities here, you'll see Cloud List. And they're lists that people make for all these different things. And you can search for different kind of stuff, and they update. And if you subscribe to one on Virtual DJ, it's going to be over here in Playlists. No, it's not going to be on Playlist. It's going to be on Lists and Device, and then Cloud Lists. And these are different ones I've subscribed to. I do a Billboard Hot 100 one every week. So in mine, we can go look at my Cloud List. And there's only one under, that's if you search for Billboard, there's only one for Billboard. And in there, I update the billboard. This has not been updated this week, so these are not right. Don't yell at me. But I put these in order, and if you hit subscribe up at the top, because I'm already subscribed to it, then every single week you can go into your cloud lists and hit that, and all the songs are there. And that's kind of like a playlist. And again, that I think there are some files. Sorry, I got digressed there for a second by reading some of these here. I'm getting into the questions in a minute. You guys are popping some good questions up there. But yeah, so if you subscribe to my playlist, you can have access every single week to the songs that are in Billboard, and all you have to do to put them back in order, let me get rid of this. If you want to put them in the order top to bottom, you can sort them any way you want. But right here is one of the, order. So you can actually check an order column to put them in the order they're in. Or if you right-click over any of the headers, let's say I changed this and I did this by BPM, and I want to put it back to the original sort, I can right here and do resort, and that puts them back into the order that I put them in. So you'll never get them scrambled if you want to. So that was there. So let me go back to here. I saw a bunch of great questions come through. Hold on here. So thank you, Joe, about the white plates. I agree. It's awesome. Math engine, CPU, GPU, or auto, what's the best and why? It all depends on your computer power. I would say auto's the best, so let it choose. But I let my run off CPU because I have a GPU on there. I haven't run it off the Intel GPU, not the NVIDIA GPU that's in my laptop. I just think virtual runs better with that. So you kind of have to experiment and see what works best for you. Reflex says he's working on his skin. Reflex says they are working on a skin for the Newmark NS62. Cool. White's popular, I guess. Nick, I hope I'm saying this. Nico, if I'm saying that right, I apologize. But says, why hasn't Virtual made a skin that utilizes 5 pad pages? And for a person that has the Rain 1 that has 5 pad pages, I feel you. I don't know how to really say that. I think probably because there's so few of us that have controllers that have 5 pad pages. I haven't looked personally to see if somebody had customly made one, because people make them all the time and you can go look at them. Like for me, it's just I don't bother with the pad pages up there. I do them on the thing and I kind of know what's going on there. But I feel your pain. We're kind of being missed on that. What skin is the one I'm looking for on Virtual DJ? The one that I have up right now, if you're looking at this one, this is the stock skin, the default skin, and it's under Pro, because you can do Pro, Performance, and they all kind of look a little different here. This is the Pro. I usually run most of the time one it's called Controller HD 2020 by Denyo, and I like it because it gives me a lot more room for songs, because I'm bouncing back and forth between this here and stuff I put in the hold list off to the side, and I kind of like it. There's also a couple other ones that I think are pretty popular. You can make ones that look like Serato if you want Serato ones. If you want Record Box, you can see that's not going to give me a demo of the Record Box, I don't think. No. But you can see that there's different ones there. There is a buttload, so if you go to extensions here and then look at skins main, so there are all these skins that Virtual has, plus there are other websites you can go to and get skins, not just here. And I'm going to show you, I always like showing this when I have something that needs updated. This is how fast it takes to update something. I think it's kind of cool how they've designed it. This is a skin that somebody has updated it, and I'm going to update it, and that fast, it's done. That has been updated. And that's the same way for any effects that you have. You can look at stuff that's installed, video effects, audio effects, sample decks, loops, pads, all of these things. This is maybe where we want to do pads. Cues and loops. Nope, nothing on the 5. Nothing there. I thought somebody might have that in there, but it's not, so... But yeah, that's where you get those at, and that's the ones that I use. Like I said, majority of the time I am using this one here, but for when I do the teaching for showing you guys stuff, I just look at the default one, and that's all I do with the default one. Moving on down the list there. Yeah, I had a friend, Eric Nuremberg, it was doing the monthly rental. So you can do the monthly rental, Virtual DJ, or lease, which I have a bad feeling that's all the option we're going to have in the future. I think that all the programs are going to go that. They're not going to go purchase. Because think about it, I purchased mine 12 years ago, and they've not gotten another dollar from me since. So, I mean, they're getting their work from me doing the show, but they haven't gotten a dollar. So I think that that's something that they're going to do is do the, the lease. But yeah, you can do the lease or purchase it. The reason I like the purchase is because, like, if you look at Serato, anytime they do an update or change, add this feature, they're going to charge you like $10 for this feature and charge you $10 for this feature. Virtual, once you pay, at least right now, in the future may be different, but at least right now, once you pay, you're done. I forgot, I'm not talking into the camera. Oops, sorry, hold on. There we go. I thought I had the camera up there. But if you pay, you don't pay anymore. You have everything, any updates, any changes, they're free. So moving on down the list here, questions. What about stuff that has Q points saved on the database? Can you convert them to be saved as tags? That's something I'm trying to work out, because where the Q points in the database are saved are a different spot than the memory points are saved. And this is the best I can show you between them. So if we go here and we look at this song here, and now I don't want to do it on a cloud list because it's not going to work on the cloud list. Let me go down to one of my songs. Give me a second here. It's loading all of them because I have it on refresh all the time. So if you go here and you do points, let me zoom in. So if you go here, pick a song, right click, points of interest editor. So if you were to add them in there, they would be put in as memory points as opposed to Q points. And where these are stored, I haven't totally figured out. And with the ease there is to put your Q points in just by hitting a Q point button, not that I know of yet, unless I would take time to remap it, I can't put in the memory points as easy without going into this points of interest editor. This is my knowledge of right now. There could be a way to do this that I don't know yet. It's very possible. But that's kind of, like I said, they're kind of in between. But right now, if I wanted to take these songs and transfer them into a thumb drive, I could take songs. Oh, let me go back here. I'm going to put a song over here. And if I had a thumb drive in here, I would take this song and drag and drop it in here, and it would give me the option of saving the Q points as memory points. So it is converting them automatically, but I don't know how to do that at this point. I haven't taken a lot of deep dive in there. I actually sent a message a while back to Pulse from Pioneer to ask how Rekordbox does it, and he says it is the same. They are held in two different spots, and that's what I'm trying to figure out how they are, because if any of you have ever used certain download services and you've gotten songs from like BPM Supreme, there are Q points a lot of times already on them. So it is capable of doing it to the point where they're able to be put in and read by other software, and that's what I'm trying to figure out, how to streamline that and back work the stuff that I've already done into that. That would be my ultimate thing. I would prefer to do it that way, but I haven't gotten quite there yet. All right, so moving on down. Questions. Awesome questions tonight. This is fun. It says there are dozens of people waiting on another link. I'm not sure what that means. Rocky, if you could explain that. You're probably referencing or answering someone else, but if it's a question to me, kind of tell me that there. The BPMs are color-coded. Some BPMs are, depending, again, how you want to set it up. I don't do any of that. You can also do, I don't know if you guys know or not, but you can have the waveforms on Virtual DJ screen like Rekordbox does. So if I wanted to add the waveforms here, oops, nope, I want to go here. Come on, give me that. Stop it. There we go. So where's the waveforms? Waveforms. So you can have a column to see the waveforms now. I don't, because I don't understand why you want to see that. I mean, I guess you can read some drops and different things like that. Depending on what waveforms you're using, you can also see where, because certain waveforms show you where singing and music are in two separate ways. So if we load this up here, and I switch the waveform to, give me a second, I got to remember how to do the waveforms on this. Waveform in shapes. Yeah, so this, yeah, so here, the singing is the outer part and the beat is the inner part. So if I take stems and take out, see, I'm taking the vocals out, you'll see that outer point disappear. So you can, if you are using this type of waveform, see where the vocals are as opposed to the beat. But having them down there, to me, it's just not something I want to do. And I'm not a fan of this waveform, at least yet. It's going to take me a while to get used to it. I like the old-fashioned one. So, yeah, let me get back to the questions here. If you switch to harmonic, they are colored. Again, it all depends on how you want to do that. I do the key difference, which is something that a lot of people don't do. Because I had somebody asking me recently about teaching a class on harmonic mixing, and I don't do it. So I've loaded this song here, and instead of looking at what key it is in, because it's more importantly of where what song you're going to mix next. And anything here that is 0 or 1 is within the same key range to mix. Anything beyond that, you will see a higher number, and that's out of that key. So right now, this song right here is 5 out from the key that it's on. If it was 1 or 0, I could play it. So if I drop this up here, you're going to see other numbers change along with it, and they all change in real time. So anytime I load a song that's playing, there's always going to be a change in that, and it'll change it on whatever songs you see. And that's why I do the key difference as opposed to the harmonic stuff. So you guys are going to have to discuss that amongst yourselves, because it's more than I want to think about, mainly because after all these years, it's all by ear, because there's nights where I'm just loading songs going, nope, that doesn't match. Nope, that doesn't match. I'm like, oh, there we go. Or in my head, I'm going, scrolling through. I'm like, I know that song doesn't match. I know that song doesn't match. This one matches. So in my head, I see a lot of that. Record box skin is ugly. I've tried. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. I have it in there to show people. That's all. Like I said, I use that one a lot. I'm just partial to it. I've lately been doing this, and I know I've shared this in every single show, but I switch back and forth between the Pro and the Performance that hides everything. So if I have songs here playing, it's gonna. I don't have the plates in the thing. It minimizes everything and gives me a lot of stuff to read. So I'm kind of been back and forth between both of those, the Performance and the Pro on that. But yet again, most of the time I end up using the other one, yeah, that one. Moving on down the list here. We should be grandfathered in it since we already paid for it. Yeah, they probably would grandfather if you've already paid for it, not make you do that. It would be just future stuff, I'm sure. Can Virtual DJ sample live from a fader channel on the fly? Yes, you can. I've not done it, but one of the key things you have to do, or I want to clarify, that other fader channel is coming from an external sound source. I want to make sure that's what you're talking about. And if that's what you're talking about, one of the things you have to do is when you set up your sound audio, you're going to need to add an input channel, and I don't think I can do it from here. No, because I don't have it there. But you would add an input channel here by doing one of the ins and outs, and then you would have the input channel down there and pick the channel on the fader that you want it to be, and it will then take anything that's on the outside and sample it on the inside. I think that's what you're talking about. I hope that helps. Moving on down. Now here's the things. Joe Bez was talking about, once in a while we go through them and check for the updates. I would advise you do not do the early update on your DJ computer. I do the early update here on my studio computer so that it shows me when I have it, because this doesn't DJ out. So it shows me the things that I can go try them to see if I like them, so that when it does go to the standard access, then I'll be a little bit ahead of the game. And when the DJ computer's on, it's always on the standard access, I'll kind of know what's going on. It gives me a chance to preview some stuff. So, I mean, you can run it early access if you want, but I have run into problems where they maybe did an update on something for the video something or other, and some of the video plugins didn't work until they fixed that in the recent update. So I kind of always hold off on a load of those there. He says, Nico says that you can get the cue points from the tags. I know you can get some stuff from the tags. That would be in what? The analyze, or is that up in here? Because I know you can always get the tag information from the MP3 to where it always shows tag information, but I don't know if it's going to show that. So let me switch over here. Left screen, and we're going to go to here, and we're going to go tag. Get tags auto. Set tag auto. Get title from tag, which that's right. That's the stuff it's getting automatically, and I don't have mine do that because I do it the other way around. I will set the tag in virtual, and I'll show you in a minute how I do that, and then I rename the file from the tag. So I do that backwards. Comments from tag. I do that. Get cues from tags. This is on new files. Is that the way that goes? I have it always. So I don't know how that works for X. This is where I kind of get into this, where it becomes a little confusing to me on this. And I think I've read on this before, is that there's a difference between getting them from, because I think Serato automatically puts them in the tags. So I don't know if I tag something in virtual, if it holds it in there for someone else to get from me. That's what I'm kind of, that's the way I'm thinking it, is that I could be wrong, that if I take one of my songs and give it to you, we're both using virtual, I don't think you're going to get my cue points. But if you set it in Serato to do the memory points and also Record Box as memory points, and you give me that MP3, that should show up. Because like I said, I do get them from songs I download. But like I said, I don't think I get them from me when I set a cue point. I don't think it puts my cue points in there. I'll have to look into that because that's something I've kind of been waiting on. But like I said, when they recently did that update to do when you transfer the stuff to the thumb drives, that it's transferring it over as a memory point as opposed to a cue point, that's when I kind of started doing a little research. And then the hundreds of projects that I have, I'm trying to get the same skin you're using right now. If you're talking about the skin that's on there, that is, if you have Virtual DJ and it's updated to anything of the past like 2 years, this is the stock skin that comes with it. It's called default. So if you go into your thing here and you look at interface, it's going to be the first one. And there are several different versions of the default. And this is the default Pro. So there is, I can switch that up here too. So there's the default starter, and it's really basic. So if I were to press play, you'll see stuff spin. And if that's a video and I have video up, the video will spin in there. The next one up is Essentials, which is the basics that still does kind of the same thing. Does not go too far with a lot of stuff. And then we go to Pro, which is the one I use, like I said, and they're still making updates to this. And then the performance is set a little different because you can set all different things. So I can have the top with all different settings and then add in the mixer section if I want to add in the mixer section, or add in the effects section if I want to add in and the video. And I can remove them all or set them all, and it's kind of a little bit of everything. You in the performance section, you still can get all the other stuff that's the deck layout. So you can get the full deck layout in the performance. You can get the compact deck layout in performance, and you can get the one that I run on the Pro is the small. And then if I want to see it, I have a shortcut on my computer keyboard that will switch it between there and the Pro. So if I need the Pro for something, it's there. But that's the stock one. So if you don't have that, you've not updated to your Virtual DJ is really old. Moving on down here. Moving on down, settings. Pro Skin. Someone asked me, how's my book coming? For those of you who know, I wrote a book in 2020, and I've been working on getting it out. And right now we are on schedule for having it out in May. That's the goal. So keep an eye out for the book in May. There's going to be a relaunch of my website. It's going to be expanded into all the stuff that I do, not just the DJ world. And I'm kind of going to be expanding out into other stuff in the creative world, because the book's about my creative journey, because I've done a lot of stuff in my lifetime. in the creative world, since I was a kid doing artwork. I used to be a vocal performer. I put out 12 different albums in my lifetime. In fact, this fall, if all these things fall into place, the second album I released, that 2022 is the 20th anniversary of that album's release, and I'm going to re-release it sometime in the fall on Spotify and all those other ones. So that's also coming this year. But the book and that, and like I said, I'm just coming to a point where I want to start celebrating all the stuff I've done over the past 40 some years of doing this kind of stuff. I've been doing it my whole life since I was a kid, so it's more than 40 some years. And I have so much stuff that I've done over the years. I used to be a professional dancer. I danced on TV commercials, all kinds, taught dancing, did all this stuff. Those who follow me have seen some of the videos I posted. I'm going to be doing more, but there's going to be a website along with the book launch looking at the artistic stuff I did, and there's going to have some of the videos I did, the TV commercials, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be celebrating that, but I am looking for a May release of the book. That's the goal, and I think everything's kind of, like I said, right now everything's on par for it. So unless crap happens, it may go different. I've been very busy lately, blessed with both DJ jobs and doing some work around my house that I've been putting off. I had a retaining wall that I had to do. So I have a lot going on in my life right now, and I feel very blessed for that. But I'm also trying to pace myself because I'm a firm believer, and I will be talking about this more in the future, a firm believer of taking care of yourself physically and mentally. And I'm going to be talking about how the creative life and sometimes taking a break and making money is not healthy. And that's one of the things I've learned and one of the things that has brought me down this path. So May, sorry there. Yes, somebody's talking about they only DJ with standard builds. Like I said, that's very smart to do it that way. I use Fubar 2000 with PL management and so forth. If you look at any track tags, it will show you Q info is written into the meta section where it is written. Again, if the program did that, Nico, double check that you are looking at a music file that the cue points were put in by Virtual DJ. And if they're there, let me know, because that's something I want to kind of look into, because that, again, that would save me some stuff of worrying about making sure when I transfer songs to another computer, because I have my DJ computer, my backup computer, and then I have a little one that I keep in my DJ bag for emergencies. So if somehow my DJ computer crashed, I do have a smaller computer in there that I can get through the night. And keeping them all matched is kind of a pain sometimes, besides doing the cloud matching, because when I put something in the DJ computer, it automatically goes to the others in the cloud, but also the database has to match for those cue points to be in there. And if they do it the way you're talking about, that's going to save me a lot of headache and a lot of concern, as in, did I do this right? Are they going to be there? And also, if I screw something up, am I going to lose 10 years of cue points? So if I'm able to put them in there so they're permanently with that would make me so happy. And even if you can't check this now, you check it later, send me a private message on Facebook messaging or something like that, and let me know how that works, and I'm going to look into that, and that'll probably be my next show that we do, is about that, so that we can talk about all of that, because that's something we all do. We mark genres, we mark cue points, we do all these different things, and we don't want to lose them, and that's kind of, I think that would be a good topic for next show, is guarding what you have like that. So please let me know. How do you map a keyboard command to switch to Pro Skin? It's pretty simple. It's the same thing as MIDI mapping something else. So I'm going to do the zoom in, and if you open up this, let me move this down a little bit so you can see it. So if you're here and you look at not options, mapping, you will see the mapping right now for the controller I have. So if I press a button on the controller, like play, you will see it tell you what you just pressed right there. Okay, so if I press the shift button, it's going to tell me what that is. So if I wanted to map the shift button to something different, I go over here to the left, find the shift, and then I'll have to write something in there or go with the drop downs here and do that. That is the exact same for going over here to the computer's keyboard. And if you look down at Control C, Control Q. So there is Control Q. That's the one I put in to switch between Load Skin Default Pro, Load Skin Default Performance, and then to have that continually loop, you put Load Skin Default Pro again. So that puts that in a continual loop. So I will move me out of the way here. Hold on. Oops, I didn't want to do that. So that if you want to pause the video later and zoom in on that, that is the key that I did on my computer keyboard to let me switch between default Pro and default of the performance. And that would look like this. So if we just go left screen, close this out, that would look like this. If I can reach this from here. Hold on here. I can't see. It's underneath the deck now. So if I do Control Q and Control Q, Control Q, Control Q. I did find out that if you, at least I was trying to switch back and forth between the Denon default and that other one I use, and it won't do that through a key. At least I haven't figured out how to make it do it through a keyboard shortcut without stopping the music. This will go without stopping the music. The other one, when you switch two different skins, it has a little trouble. I haven't figured that one out yet. But if you want to, like I said, switch between two different things, that's what you have to do in that little code that was setting there. Go take a look at that code. And that's all I had to do to that. Mike asks, how do you get an autographed copy? Well, that'd be difficult because I'm only going to be selling this stuff through Amazon, the book. We're back to the book again. And if you get a paperback copy, you're going to be getting it through Amazon, shipped to you. It's not going to come from me. So there you go. Joe Best says, if you have a file that has 2 cue points saved in the database and add a new cue point using the update, are there 2 cue points saved in the database and the third is a memory point? From what I understand, the memory points are one thing and the cue points are another. So as many cue points as you add, that's going to be held in the database. I have not confirmed yet where the memory points are held. All I know is that Virtual automatically converts them over to the files that you drag and drop for the CDJ and the Denon engine. So I don't have any more information than that, but any cue points you add or delete in Virtual are currently kept in the database. The memory points, I don't know yet. Moving on down. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Blessed to have you guys too. Nico says, I'm on the fence about the Rain 1 and the 0 dB settings. What's the best setting for default 3.6? Have you ever heard of that nasty scratching sound when latency may be below 600? Here's the thing. The latency depends upon your computer, how much power it has, RAM, and different things like that. I've never had a problem because I put a lot in my DJ computer. It's old now, but when it was new, it was pretty top end. I use a gaming computer, and I've kind of always used that. But this is going to sound really strange. There's a difference between the latency, because you can do smart latency on here, and I forget what it's called. Give me a second here. No. What is it called? There's your latency performance under latency, and you can change that number, and then the ultra latency works with the ASIO drivers. And if you don't use ASIO drivers, which I don't, I use the Wasabi drivers. I call them Wasabi. Those numbers can affect that bad sound more than the dB sound. Now, the dB sound you're talking about is under headroom, and you can do 0 dB under headroom. Now, one of the things I found, that this is going to sound strange to you, and I'll try to explain it the best I can, but I had to switch when I ran the Denon MC7000. I ran it at 0 dB. When I switched to the Rain 1, it has a newer sound card and a better sound card. I felt it hit too hard, so I backed it off to a negative 3 dB, rescanned all the audio sides of all my files, and because I use Virtual DJ's auto gain and remember, so I never touch my gains the whole night. Never touch them. It's all volume up, mix, volume down. That's all there is to it. And when I rescanned them, it set those gain points for the new sound card, and it made it perfect. But when I went from the gain points that were set in the MC7000 to the Rain 1, they were hot, and I had to back the Rain down, give it more headroom. So I want to sit down and talk to Ben on how that all works, because Ben Stowe, he's one of our people here at Just Talking News, has a brain that is incredible when it comes to knowledge and stuff like this. And I kind of want to ask him a little bit on that because I had talked to a sound guy recently that talked about what used to be on a soundboard 0 dB because everything now is punched harder. He said it's a negative 18 now. So if you have an old board set at 0 and a new board set at negative 18, they're set at the same dB. And I don't understand that. It was just told to me when I was talking to him about the fact that I backed it off 3 dB. So that's kind of have to be your testing. But if you're having problems with the scratch and the stuff not going right, there is a scratch latency setting in there. I think it's called Smart Scratch or something. And then there is the gain that you saw. And then the 0 dB is just a loudness thing for taking it too far if it's punching too hard. Moving on down there. Tips for scratching via keyboard or MIDI controller pads. I can't tell you how to do that because I don't do any of that stuff, but I do know that a lot of them now have scratch stuff built into the pads that can do simple scratch effects. I don't even know if I have them on here. Let me see if I can throw something up here. I need to go down to my non-copywritten music from there. So, and if I have the hotkeys set to scratch, so if I press then, see, I'm basically have the pads right here set to the scratch, and I'm going to press the buttons. So I don't do a lot with that, but a lot of them have that built in now where you can do that. And that's kind of, that's the only way that I could say you can really do it with some efficiency is those auto scratch that are pre-set up. I've seen people do scratching with mice, seen people do scratching with a touch screen. It's difficult. It's really difficult. But if you wanted to add scratches and you don't know how to scratch, that would be in virtual. There are settings that you can take your hot cues and turn them into preset scratches that you can also go in and change if you want to and download what other people have done. You can do scratches that way. Beat grid is not working properly. You have to set up. Now, do you mean beat grid the effect or beat grid where stuff is laying? Because that's something you kind of have to set up. You have to re-scratch. You have to learn how to do the tap to set it on a downbeat. If your files have a varying beats per minute, your effects will never match. And that's just kind of going there. Scratch is always set at 0, pitch 4. Yeah, like I said, with the way virtual works with the auto gainer, remember, this is me all night long. If I'm mixing, the gains here are never touched. I never touch them. So if I'm mixing, I'm doing blending with the mids. I'm doing blending with the high lows because instead of using high, mid, low, the way I have it set up now, I'm using stem, stem, stem. So if I'm playing the song and I want to pull a bass out, and if there was vocals in there, so I don't do high and low at all. So when I'm mixing, that stays the same. Song goes up. I put another song on the other side. And that's up and down, up and down. And I don't do anything more than that. So the gains are kind of up to you how you do that there. Do you ever use mixed videos? Yes, I use mixed videos all the time, and it does add a little bit of power resources. Again, depending on what you buy, like I said, I have a gaming computer, and it handles the videos like nothing. One of the casinos I'm at, I have to do videos there all the time, so yeah. Maybe we could do another show on videos because that's something that a lot of people, you're kind of hitter there. Virtual DJ, can you change where the music is coming from in the database online? Not sure what you mean there. If you're talking about the online services, you can subscribe to different ones because I subscribe to the virtual DJs, iDJ Pool and Deezer, so I pull from both of those when I'm out. So I'm rarely without anything. So I think that's what you mean. I don't have a lot of time left. I'm going to try to get through all the questions that are here. I've used the 0, -3, and 6 depending upon the controller. Yeah, again, I would like to sit down with Ben and talk about that headroom that they put into that, because as far as I know, I'm almost 100% positive that Serato does not have that. I don't know if Rekordbox has that, but to me it's a very significant thing that I'm running into, because I know there was a big sound difference going from my Denon MC6000 MK2 to the MC7000, and then a big jump going from the 7000 to the Rain 1. So I don't know a lot about that other than the fact that I can look at it and say it's newer hardware, newer sound cards, better technology. Plus also when I switched in virtual from using the ASIO drivers, I felt that they were really hot. So I switched to using the Wasabi, what I call them Wasabi. It's Windows Audio something something. I felt they work better with virtual and what I was using. Not everybody feels the same. So you kind of have to experiment with that. I was kind of, like I said, I felt it was a little hot, and I switched to the Wasabi, and I was like, holy crap, that works for me. So make a poll for virtual DJ users, as in a place to go swimming. I know what you mean. Again, if you want to use any of those, just go to your cloud list on your virtual DJ. You're signed in. If you have a hacked copy, you're out of luck. Sorry. But if you own your copy, you can go to Virtual DJ's website, go to the cloud list, and there's zillions of cloud lists that you can subscribe to. It's free. You can also go there, and I'll show you that real quick before we leave, and I can bring up Virtual DJ. Nope, that's the wrong screen. So if we go to Cloud List, Community, we're here. And you go all the way to the bottom of the main page, where the Cloud List is here. I'm going to go back to here. And that's the main page. You go all the way to the bottom. You can get these from other services. So you can, oops, wrong one. You can get playlists from Beatport charts. They're all in there. iTunes charts. So these are all accessible. All you do is when you go there. So if I want to do blues from the United States on iTunes chart, I set those two drop downs, go there. And if I hit that subscribe button right now, now that will be accessible to me in the Virtual DJ's cloud listings over here under List and Device and Cloud List. If I subscribe to that, that would be there, and I would be able to click on that, drag and drop, and play music if it's in mind, and or if I subscribe to a service that has it. So that will show it to you whether it's something in your drive or something that you subscribe to online. It's to tell you the spelling, and again, I just call it Wasabi, but it is spelt, hold on here, W-A-S-A-P-I. W-A-S-A-P-I. It's Windows Audio Sound and something something. I can't remember what it stands for. Windows Audio Sound and something interface, and I can't remember what it is, but that's what it stands for. And it's kind of in the Windows world, it has replaced the ASIOs, and I think for me it works better for me. So you kind of have to experiment that on yourself. So hey, we've been doing this an hour. We should probably call it quits. You guys, I really wasn't sure, not having a distinct topic tonight, how it would go, how you guys would kind of dig on this, and I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Write down your questions. Again, like I said, I may end up doing some other shows. Like I said, that I was thinking about doing other shows where instead of doing the live, that where you send in the questions, and like I said, the guy, he was a car guy answering questions that, he's a mechanic, and people would send him in questions, and he would just read down the questions, and it was just chop cuts and back and forth and making comments, and it worked, and I may give that a try. So I am able to end up putting out more than once a month on Virtual DJ. So again, thank you guys so much for everything. I appreciate it. I'm still working on the Virtual DJ sponsorship and maybe getting you guys some free stuff, all that kind of stuff. I appreciate that. Stay tuned to all my social medias. I'm DJ Michael Joseph everywhere. And the book side is I Am MJ, as in who are you? I Am MJ. So if it's Facebook, it's I Am MJ FB. If it's Twitter, it's I Am MJ TW. If it's Instagram, I Am MJ IG. I'm both on DJ Michael Joseph and I Am MJ TT over on TikTok, and I've just started putting the I Am MJ TikTok stuff on. I've been putting DJ Michael Joseph on for a while, and I'm actually picking back up and doing it again, having some fun, because I like getting creative with this stuff, and I'm kind of having fun with the creative side of it. So that's about it. So until next time, I always try to end on something positive. This world is just getting crazier and crazier, and the only way we're going to survive is if we're there for each other. So take care of each other. You don't have to change the world. You just have to be there for someone who's in your world, and that's all you have to do. So until next time, take care. God bless.